In '98, I took a trip to Paris and to visit a girlfriend, you know, who had been my love through all of high school. And while I was there, I knew I was going to spend a month in this place that was so foreign. It's in the 3rd arrondissement on the street was a Rue Chapon. And initially, Coheed and Cambria, they were originally based after myself and her. And he, again, was, going, this love and being in a foreign place, and, so that's kind of where the science fiction element came into play. And she was living across the street from this bag shop, which is called the Bag Online. And I had taken that name and made it the title of the concept, The Bag Online Adventures of Coheed and Cambria. I later realized that when writing the entire album, or the lyrics to Second Stage Turbine Blade, no longer was about my trip to Paris, and it was really more about myself and my family. Coheed and Cambria started taking on the likenesses of my parents, and that's why I changed it to the Amory Wars, after the street that I grew up on, which is called Amory Drive. Sure, it's a science fiction epic, but each part is like a stage of my life. I mean, like all of the symbols that Coheed has are all very relevant. The dragonfly and the dragonfly's relationship to Coheed. The dragonfly is actually a symbol for heroin. My father had a struggle with heroin, but he was a very functional addict. To be addicted to something like that, and to be able to provide for a family, and to know where the line is. You can do what you want to do, but as so long as you do what you need to do. He's a hero to me, and so's my mother. For having to deal with it. I'm sorry. My family, like my parents, they, through love, remained together. That's why they became the center of my universe. I mean, growing up, look at my brother and myself, just surrounded by, the things that we wanted, and, going back to that whole thing of a man and, or this couple really just coming through and providing, enduring, and, for the love of their children and for the love of each other. And this picture always gets me just because we had everything. So we were very, very, very fortunate. Dude, I fucking love that man.
We had a good friend named Ashton. He's actually an actor.
He took an interest into the band and saw potential and actually started to kind of shop it around to indie labels.
He helped us get that album on Equal Vision.
I leaned over to Chris when I was like, man, there's 10 people working for these guys right now, moving instruments around. I remember playing Valentine's, I was carrying fucking guitars and amps around the stage.
I was so moved by the 2 songs. I believe it was Delirium Trigger and 33 were the 2 songs, and he got us a record deal.
They were insistent that we listen to it at the time, and we were kind of like, okay, it sounds good. We'll talk to you.
Equal Vision, we kind of was one that we were all kind of silently hoping for.
The demo actually floated around the office for months.
Occasionally I'd ask, what is this and stuff, and they'd say, oh, it's this band from Nyack, and they didn't want to tell me their name because their name was still Shibuti, and I think they were embarrassed to say it out loud.
It got to the point where we're like, this is really different, but really cool. There was something about it that stood out compared to everything else that was happening at the time.
And it was kind of like a personal thing for us. We knew we really liked them and we wanted to put out the record.
I was like, okay, let's go for it, and we went for it.
The direction that we were going in and the music that we all liked, I mean, especially for Claude and I, it was just perfect for what we were trying to do.
I think that they were just in such disbelief. I hear they'd worked so hard and been in these bands for so long, but it was really like, wow, this is the springboard, this is the beginning
And I guess the idea was to go into the studio and kind of cut some demos, just, show them what the band could do.
We didn't know we were making the record.
The demos were coming out so good that we were just going to take them and put a good mix on them up in Applehead.
And those demos eventually became Second Stage Turbo.
I really enjoy listening to it now. I think it's awesome.
I think that album is perfect as is, like, for that time period and what we were going for then.
I don't know, I was just excited because again, it was like it's time. It's everything you've worked for is here now, so get ready.